A great indicator for how much somebody knows about Judaism is how many brachos they know. Usually translated as blessings, a bracha is often recited before you partake in something that you enjoy as an expression of thanks or before the performance of a mitzvah. Now, to be honest with you, I thought I knew of all brachos. Yes, some you may say every day, some only once every 28 years, some perhaps never in your life, but I knew of their existence. Alas, it took me over 3 decades to learn about this one. Turns out there's this one bracha that is said when you put up a guardrail. You see, there's this mitzvah in this week's Torah portion about erecting a guardrail, so nobody injures themselves or dies by falling off of your roof. And Maimonides rules that we do say a bracha on that mitzvah. Okay, so if you're not feeling Talmudic today, just continue scrolling because you've learned the basic idea. But if you're open to getting into the Talmudic weeds with me, the eventual lesson derived is quite beautiful. The Rebbe, in a concise talk, asks the question that many other commentaries ask: why do we say a bracha for building a guardrail? There are 3 reasons why one would think not to. First of all, any mitzvah that you're doing for another person, like in this case, and you should be doing it aside for the religion, like in this case, you don't say a distinct blessing to Hashem for giving you this commandment, because all of humanity should be performing these things without God's commandment. Second of all, we don't say specific blessings for things that are done to prevent danger. Probably because you'd be saying blessings all day, because at each moment you're not doing something dangerous, which that, of course, would be ridiculous. Thirdly, we also don't say blessings for negative commandments, like thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, because you are fulfilling that mitzvah at every moment that you're not killing and stealing. So this guardrail is for another person, it's a negative commandment, and it's danger related. 3 reasons why we should not be saying a bracha on it. To answer this, the Rebbe first notices that Maimonides lists this guardrail instruction as 2 distinct mitzvahs, a positive one of building a guardrail and a negative one of not having people injured on your property. But then the Rebbe asks the obvious question: isn't the goal of not having injuries on your property the reason for the positive commandment of building a guardrail? Why should they be seen as 2 distinct mitzvahs? They're essentially one and the same. For this, the Rebbe gives what I see as a revolutionary answer, and that is the mitzvah of building a guardrail is absolutely separate from the negative command of not having people injured on your property. If so, then you'll ask the obvious question: if the reason is not to prevent injury, what is the whole point of building a guardrail in the first place? So I think I've got the answer from a talk the Rebbe gave 25 years later, but feel free to argue with my analysis. The Rebbe in a later talk says that someone can have this temptation of not being a builder, because building something impressive involves risk. A big house may have somebody fall off of it, but in any venture in life, there are risks and pitfalls involved, and someone may say, why should I be industrious and ambitious? Let me simply play it safe and not do anything outside of my comfort zone and the status quo in my society. For that, the Rebbe tries to inspire us to go ahead and build that new house. Put yourself in situations that there are new concerns, and then go ahead and build the guardrail to prevent those concerns from happening. If you're really good at building other people up, but that evokes in you a bit of arrogance, don't stop building others up, just take care of your arrogance. Perhaps this explains why there are 2 distinct mitzvahs over here. First of all, be ambitious, put yourself out there and into situations that will need guardrails. And then second of all, build that guardrail so nobody gets hurt. Now we can explain why we say a bracha, because this first part is between you and God. Second of all, it isn't a negative commandment, rather it's an active positive one. And third of all, it isn't danger prevention, rather it increases the likelihood of danger in your life. That danger, of course, is worth it.